What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Loot Chest on Tasty Loot Gaming, the show where we talk about a random topic in gaming. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Kris.
And game of the month this month is Warframe, a game that we all love on the channel. We've been talking about it earlier in the week. And today we're going to be talking about our favorite Warframes. Now, all three of us have picked 2 Warframes apiece. Warframes. We'll be talking about what we like about them. We'll have some honorable mentions. I'll go first. I said earlier when it came to honorable mentions and favorite Warframes, it's kind of hard because we're all big fans of the game, and I feel like aside from Trinity and fucking Chroma, even though you're saying Chroma's got some stuff to him now, which is nice to hear. Aside from those two, I feel like all the Warframes are great. I think they all have a purpose and they're all really good, and I can play really any of them at any time, but obviously we have preferences. So my first Warframe of my favorites is Limbo. Didn't expect that.
Interesting.
When Limbo first released, I started playing him, and I believe out of all my Warframes has some of the most playtime out of all of them.
Really?
I played him that much. I don't play much anymore because there's so many fucking frames that come out all the time, which is awesome. But yeah, Limbo is a really interesting frame. He aesthetically has the top hat, but his moves are kind of like interdimensional, which I really dig. They have a lot of cool properties to him. He has moves where he can put people into another dimension, so no one can access them anymore. He can also put his allies into another dimension if they're almost going to die or something like that. Then he can also create an orb, very much like Frost, that allows people to be outside of the dimension and inside the dimension, which is really interesting for combat. Being able to put them in there is a really cool feature because, like, if you're fighting like a big boss dude, you can kind of separate him from the rest of the team. Mm-hmm. So the rest of the team can fight off the ads, and you can go in there and fight him, or just keep him the fuck away. Because of these really interesting features in his moveset, I just really enjoy playing him. He has a lot of cool utility aspects to him.
I find him so trolly.
Really?
Oh my god.
That is a huge one that people say, yeah, because you can force
Remember
people
when he
to
first
stop
came out
playing, essentially.
Because that bubble makes it so you can't pick up items.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you can't shoot in it. And you can't shoot out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You can only shoot within it.
Well, and the bubble isn't even the worst part. You can literally look at your allies and just put them in that dimension, and they can't leave willfully.
Yeah.
So as long as you have them in there, they're stuck in there. Promise I don't play like that. I actually use them, for the better good, greater good. But yeah, outside the trolliness, have you guys really played him at all? Have you dabbled?
Unfortunately, I don't have him unlocked yet, because I need to do the Arcwing mission still. But
I bought him. Don't regret it.
I have played with you while you played him, and in at least the way that you use him, I found him to be useful, especially doing like mobile defense or defense missions where you're just like, this spot is where the combat's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Everything else doesn't matter.
Yep.
And I do like it for that.
Plus, when they're in that dimension, they take damage passively, which I think is really cool.
And also, to prevent the trolly nature of what it can be, you do occasionally shut it off to gather items real quick, and then you bring it back up. So
yeah, you got to be on your shit, and if you're gonna play that character, and you want people to like you, you should probably pay attention to that.
Yeah, and like I said, I haven't got my hands on him yet, but seeing him in practice with someone who's actually like trying to use him and like think about the way the moves are going and stuff like that, I do think he is a decent frame. I think he gets a lot of flack because I think a lot of players, not to be too mean, but they want something where they can just hit a button and win.
Well, that was a big complaint in the beginning too. Is they're like, "What's the point of him?" And it's like, "Well, there's a lot of shit you can do with him.
Yeah,
like,
you just have to be involved.
He just doesn't have a kill button.
Yeah,
just go and fucking kill everything, like Nova."
God.
And oh god, I'm such a noob right now. What's the fucking chick that looks like a goddamn spore?
She doesn't do that anymore.
Oh, she doesn't.
No, they gave her synergy. So
okay, Saren. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
they changed her a lot.
Have you played Limbo at all? Any experience with them? Have you been trolled?
I don't have them. I have them like built. I just don't have the platinum yet to play them.
Oh yeah.
But I've only encountered like maybe 2 or 3 of them, and it's very few and far in between. Like a lot of people don't play him because of what you're saying. It's just like no insta kill button with him. But every time I've played with one, it's just troll, and it just pisses me off.
It's probably because I haven't played him, man. I don't want to bring up your PTSD.
It's just oh.
I'm sure that when they get to revisiting him, they'll address that stuff. So
Yeah.
they're really good about that.
Well, I think it would work well if like there was a cooldown on how many times you can put your own teammates inside the other dimension,
Or
but
if they
also
can opt to pop out.
have a way to get out of it on their own.
Yeah.
The only reason I say a cooldown on it, so you're not just putting them right back in
Yeah.
as soon as they come back out, because that would just be annoying. There's definitely room to fix it. I hope they don't mess with him too much, though, because I do really like his moveset, but it absolutely allows people to, just like in MMOs when people could have like teleportation devices and shit, and they just put them in a doorway and make them just keep teleporting back into the rooms they can never leave.
Right.
They had to fix that, so there's always going to be trolls.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my first pick. Chris, what's your first pick?
My first pick is Equinox.
I knew it. I was going to bet
I
on
had
it.
a feeling. Yeah.
I love that Warframe. It's so versatile. Its main move, you can shift between what's called day and night aspect, and day aspect is more of an aggressive style, whereas night aspect is more of like a support. So you get like moves in the day aspect. I believe it's your square button. You cast this little area of effect on the ground, and whoever's hit by it takes more damage.
PlayStation, by the way.
Yes, sorry. They take a lot more damage. Like I use on
What do you
bosses
say?
all the time.
He said square button.
Oh, gotcha.
Whereas the night aspect, if you put it on the ground, enemies within the area are basically put to sleep. You can go up and just finish them, it's great. But it's also really nice for spy missions because I don't have to kill anyone. Just stealth. Circle button, PlayStation. In day aspect, it's more of a support. It's really weird. So it makes it so that everybody else's powers are stronger within the given area, and it is affected by light earth stretch mods and things like that. The night aspect makes everybody take less damage. And then the ultimate, which is what basically I use it for, the day aspect, it does AoE slash damage, and the AoE is huge. Like, I am killing enemies in rooms that I'm not even near. And it's just, I can see proc. And it has a double bonus on top of that. For every damage that anybody does within the effect, you build this little meter at the top, and it just has numbers that build up and up and up and up. You pop the ultimate, and it does that damage to evenly divided to every enemy within the field. So I can just walk in and blow the room up. Vice versa.
Insta-kill button.
Right. The night aspect, though, is really good for missions that, like nightmare missions where you don't have shields. It has the same kind of feel to it, except it doesn't do any damage. It builds up the meter by how much damage everybody else is doing. When you pop it, it equally divides up that number as health to everybody in the group. So I can really bring everybody up instantly if they're really low.
That's the thing. Like I played Equinox, and I like Equinox, but I don't play him too often, just because he is so versatile. It's almost too versatile. It is so. It's too versatile for me. It's almost like I'm bringing 2 Warframes at once, which I am at that point, and I never tactically know which one I want to go into, or if I'm just going to stick with this one or stick with that one or whatever. And like, I don't know. It's like bogs down my mind trying to figure out what I'm doing with that. But Equinox definitely is especially when it first came out, was a really interesting vision of what the future of Warframes could be like, because of how diverse it is in its moveset of essentially being 2 Warframes. But
It's also one of the hardest ones to make.
is it?
You have to collect, basically...
Bought that one.
Again, with the buying things. You
Hopefully
have to collect...
Hopefully I don't have to say that about everyone that's mentioned. 'Cause I've only bought like 6.
You've got to collect the day aspect and the night aspect. You've got to collect the helmets, the chassis, and the systems for both. Make all those, compose both Warframes, which takes 3 days each, and then fuse them together, which takes another 3 days.
You?
Yeah.
So you are building 2 Warframes.
Huh?
Chevy, thoughts?
I don't have this one yet because I haven't even started on it.
We're gonna rename this loot chest Warframe Chevy doesn't have.
So far, I have watched Kris use this character a lot though, and we're usually playing spy missions though, so I don't get to see too much of it. Though you did bring on survival one time, but it was nice because he could just go in, and like you said, he puts them all to sleep, and the alarms never went off. We were getting, the affinity bonuses and stuff. It was super quick. So it was very similar to playing with a Loki in that regard. As far as like survival goes, I heard you saying you were getting the buff, but I was too busy just like shooting everything that I can't pay attention. There's too much shit happening right now. I just kind of zone out in survival, which is why I like it, but it's mind numbing. I'm just like,
you're just kind of existing in this existence of just shooting shit and just progressing, but not really having to think. It's kind of zen-like.
Yeah, until you hear that moment where all of a sudden your shields drop, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta pay attention for a second.
As soon as you're like, oh yeah, I gotta do something. I was playing this.
I am interested to try the frame, but I need to go through and unlock it, which sounds like it's going to be time consuming. So.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I just bought it. Chevy, what's your first pick?
Mine's gonna be easy. Nyx. I absolutely love Nyx. I love playing support in games anyways. I feel Nyx is just all about support. I might have the order wrong, but the first move you have is mind control. You just pick a target, you look at them, and they're your pet for whatever the time amount, depending on duration mods and whatnot. I usually say that for like Xmas units and stuff like that. Or what's been working really well for me is those Bursas, right? They'll show up and I'll just mind control them, get behind them, deal a bunch of damage, unmind control them, hack them, and then they're my pet anyways at that point. So the second move is Chaos Bolt, I believe, which I do not use at all.
No one does.
I think that move needs to be rethought into something else.
Oh, they've already worked on it a couple times.
Yeah, it's literally just magic missile. So
similar to how Frost has just a
yeah, except for nothing happens except for damage. It's a pretty boring move.
You already have a gun, so I mean, like,
yeah. The third move is Chaos, which I love. Just run around spamming that move, making everyone fight whoever they see.
Which is great because it kind of takes a lot of the... First off, keeps them busy and they're attacking each other, but also you're not getting shot anymore, which is nice. It's a good buffer.
No, and it works especially well in like survival missions where the enemies start ramping up and you can't take the hits as well anymore.
Yeah.
That you don't have to.
Might as well make them fight each other.
Yep. Do that, throw out a mind control. If I get in trouble, use the fourth move, which is Absorb, which you just surround yourself in an energy field, and all damage that hits you just builds up until you pop the bubble or you run out of energy, and it pops itself, and it just redistributes out. So
and it works with ally damage too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny when you're in a team that's working together because as soon as someone starts doing that, it starts going, just unloading into it. And they're just like, yeah, give it to me.
I love it. I love it.
Me more. No, I originally had started playing this game when we started playing on console as Hydroid, and I really enjoyed it. But then once I unlocked Nyx and started playing it, I was like, no, I think this is my new main. So
Nyx, since the beginning of Warframe, was always one I wanted to unlock, and I never did on PC. But the moves Nyx has are fucking awesome. Like you were saying, my biggest problem with the reason I don't play her that often is she is very support like, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just not my play style. But I do love like all her moves aside from what was the one you were talking
Chaos
about.
Bolt.
Yeah, I don't remember ever using that, but it is really nice to be able to have that crowd control and be able to kind of control the situation. I remember multiple times that we've been playing, and you've popped off Chaos, and it just kind of like in situations where like oh shit situations, and then that happens, and there's time to just get the fuck out of there, or kill whatever we're after and get the fuck out of there.
It goes from like here to here.
Yeah, exactly.
Instantly.
Shit is really chaotic. People are going down, people are getting back up and stuff. You pop that off, and you have this buffer of time where you don't have to worry about anything, and it's really nice.
Well, one of my favorite things to do too is if someone goes down, I'll run over to them, hit chaos, and then start getting them back up. If someone else beats me to it, getting them back up, I still use chaos, and then I'll just stand above them and use absorb. So
Yeah. Thoughts on Nyx?
I like Nyx a lot. Actually, I use her on really high-end story missions where it's like the third one and it's like survival and like everything's just monstrously high. So I just chaos, chaos, and I find, like you were saying, the Eximus units. Or I really like taking over the shield.
the Guardian ones.
Yeah, the little floaty guys that give people shields, because then it gives everyone in your team a boost to their shields.
Right.
But usually it's the health guy. I just find the one that's, you're generating health? Come here.
Yeah.
And I have the mod for her that makes anything she mind controls do 500% more damage.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah. So you get a nice big, like, I don't know, like a bombarder who shoots missiles and just blows everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to have a fifth person on the team for a little bit, which is dope.
She's great. She is squishy. She does very much feel like a support character. But
No, I can tell when I'm over my head after a while, because all of a sudden my shields just go, gone, gone, gone. I'm like, okay, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
It's funny though. I've noticed all of our first Warframes are really like supporty Warframes.
Yeah, which is weird for me.
Yeah.
But just that utilities, especially in a game like this, so important. I mean, a lot of there's honorable mention real fast. Someone might have this already, but two that are really obvious that everybody likes is Frost and Rhino, for obvious reasons. They're both tanky. They both have moves that are straightforward, and they just fucking work. But Frost does have some utility. But of course, with this Frost Shield or whatever they're called. But Blizzard. The fuck are they called? Snow Globe?
Snow Globe.
Yeah. But with people like this, they just have more to offer in more diverse situations.
Right.
The other two that I just mentioned are just like, they're going to go in there, they're going to get shit done, but, it's just kind of on autopilot after a while with how they work. So, yeah. Good picks. Let's go on to our second picks.
I'll go ahead and go. My second choice is Nova. I actually don't play her a lot, but I always enjoy playing her a lot. Once again, it's another like crowd control frame. I'm a huge fan of that aspect of this game. The first move, I can't remember what it's called, but essentially you get all these, I think they're stars, but this energy that floats around you, and when somebody gets close, they just fire off of you. So it's
Antimatter.
antimatter. It's a really good like just defense thing, especially if you're just trying to run through a place real quick. You can get a couple kills in. I might be getting these mixed up, but I think the second move is Wormhole. Could be the third move. It's exactly what it sounds like. You open a door here, and you can point in whatever direction you want. You step through it, and you teleport X amount of feet or meters away. Oh no, I can't remember the third move.
That's how good it is.
This is how much of a favorite it is. Obviously not one I'm using very often. And then her ultimates, I can't remember the third move for some reason right now, is Molecular Prime, I think is what it's called, which is just a huge aura that goes out, and I have mods on it. It goes rooms and rooms away at this point. And when it passes through enemies, they slow way down, and when they die, they pop and explode, and it's really fun to watch a group of enemies just go boop, 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 boop.
Like a chain reaction.
Yeah. So, you guys have much experience with Nova, or?
Yeah, I played Nova quite a bit before they retooled her, right?
I don't think Nova's been retooled.
They okay. I thought they did. It's been a while. No, I really liked Nova. The only reason I don't play her that often is obviously I have ones I prioritize more, but she's almost too easy, which isn't like a knock at anybody who enjoys playing her. It's just for me, I almost feel like I'm not involved, especially with that last move that she has. Although I do feel like she's pretty crucial to have in a team on a higher end mission, just because she does do that damage to so many people that it's a really good way. I mean, if you had like Nyx and Nova in the same room, you're gonna have a lot of CC going on. But yeah, I think Nova's awesome. I think a lot of people really like Nova. She's really fun to play. All her moves make sense. I really like her.
She seems to be asked for a lot. I've played her. I have her. I don't care for her too much myself. Just not my move styles. But Slova is what they call her when they make it so that her ultimate makes them move really, really slow. But then there's a counterpart to it, and I don't know how to build it, but it's called Speed Nova. So that makes the enemies come to you faster. And there's certain apparently situations where you really want that proc to get the enemies in there as quick as possible.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that because I can't think of a situation where you'd want that.
Yeah. I've heard it. I've seen it in chat a couple times in like the recruiting chat where you're looking for groups for things, and people are always looking for like Slow Nova or Slova, but every once in a while you see a Speed Nova request. It's weird.
Yeah, she has definitely requested a lot, though. I've been in a lot of rooms where, like, you got Nova? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, can you pick her? I'm like, yeah.
Well, and I think especially with, like, infested maps, because of how many enemies there are, and they're zipping around and stuff, it really just kind of helps mellow out the chaos of the situation.
Specifically on infested maps, people really like to have Nova, and it makes complete sense, because, like you said, you're with all the things running around, you don't have to think as much about every single one of them. So
yeah, infested tend to have lower health anyways compared to the other enemies. So like that AoE explosion is really nice. It just wipes a lot of them out.
they're just popping off real fast.
Oh yeah, no, especially
It's a real good way to lag out your game if you have all the graphics up on the PS4.
I especially like it on defense missions. Just stand on the point and
And I don't think that ultimate has like a range limit to it, does it?
It does, but
Okay.
range
does,
mods
but it's
really effective.
pretty generous. I mean, I'll see people dying off through walls and shit. So I mean, they're not even part of the fucking fight, and they're off dying somewhere. So which must be horrifying from their perspective to just be hanging out and everybody just gets primed and starts blowing up. I'm like, Jesus Christ, okay, this is happening.
Definitely. I don't know. I like her a lot for that, the usefulness. I also think she's a really cool looking frame. So
Oh, definitely.
God, I hate the way she looks.
Really?
really, I love
I
her.
hate it.
What about Nova Prime?
It's so like anime girl looking.
Wasn't that one designed by the community?
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Really smooth frame, like not very. I mean, she does look robotic, but more like smoothly organic looking. I don't know. I do think she's definitely different looking than the other frames for sure. But I really like Nova Prime. I think she looks really cool.
Especially
Definitely
with the moving
anime-esque though.
parts.
Yeah. I wish more of them had stuff like that. In fact, Titania, I just got her tonight. It's interesting to see that her back piece is actually fabric. It moves as you run, which I didn't realize.
Also turns into your arc wing when you're the little.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that far yet, but I'm excited to level her up. Maybe she'll be one of my favorites. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, that's a good pick. I feel like Nova's across the board pretty standard for people really loving that frame. I'm gonna go next. My second favorite, and probably my most favorite. Can anyone guess it?
Your most favorite?
Yeah.
I feel like I should know.
Yeah, you should.
It's been a while since we've all played.
It has been because we just got back from a break and you haven't really played with us yet. So I'm at
I
a
know Josh really likes Rhino Prime. He likes those tanky guys.
definitely Rhino fan.
I love Rhino and Frost, but they're, like I said, there's kind of a standard does it all type guy that's not necessarily very
I'm
fun.
drawing a complete blank on what you played lately.
I'm gonna take you guys a break. Zephyr.
Okay.
Again, not a super popular one. Zephyr and Limbo I don't see played very often. Zephyr more definitely than Limbo. I really like Zephyr. And we've actually talked about this before. Some of the moves kind of seem like, whatever, especially with the Parkour 2.0 and all that shit. But yeah, Warframe's already a really mobile type game. All the Warframes are capable of running on walls, jumping around and shit. But Zephyr's first move allows her to fly straight into the air. And I have mods on her that allow me to fly out of the fucking map sometimes.
See it. Just nope.
Which is, the game is very very nice about just going, okay, well you left here, come back. like a parent. And I'm like, okay, well, that's scary.
The kid on a leash. Come back here.
If you use the move again while you're in the air, you can shoot forward, which I use a lot for mobile reasons. Gets me into places fast. Surprisingly, Zephyr is really tanky for what she is too. It's really weird. And she has a move where she can activate wind around her, so bullets kind of go around her. You take less damage. And then I have a mod on that allows me to run even faster with her when that's activated. So I feel like she's probably the fastest frame, or at least one of them. Her second move is Dive Bomb, which is the only move I don't use. There's mods to make it more interesting, but I don't care about it because essentially when you're in the air, I don't use the buttons. I swipe on the touchpad, and you swipe down, and I think the buttons are awful. Well, I could be playing the game and just go, oh, another button. I don't have to
I actually use both.
Yeah, I don't ever hit the buttons at all. So I'll swipe up, real easy. I'll swipe up, I fly in the air,
You
swipe down.
activate your...
Never. I swipe up, and then I swipe down. And, well, this never happens because I don't use Dive Bomb. But if I were to use Dive Bomb, swipe up, swipe down, boom, did it. It's great. But yeah, don't use that one very often. Sometimes I'll be in there and I'm like, I want to come down faster, so I just do that. But her ult, I fucking love. You essentially activate these tornadoes that just go all over the fucking place, and anyone near them just gets sucked into them. They're flying into the ceiling, taking damage, and they're getting thrown around. And it's really fun to watch, if you're okay with lag, to have that activated with Hydroid's tentacle move.
Oh god,
yeah.
It's literally kind of like watching the apocalypse happen, because you have all these tornadoes, these hellish tornadoes flying around, just sucking people up. While they're being thrown around in the air, these tentacles are just coming out and grabbing them out of the air and slamming them around and getting sucked back into tornadoes. And it's fucking crazy. The only thing I can think that can add to that madness even further is Nova priming everyone while they're exploding in the air. I mean,
Ember.
that's Ember.
World on fire.
What happens with that one?
The ground explodes with
that'd be
fire
fucking
everywhere.
crazy too. We should do a quick
Chaos,
2-minute
dude.
video just to fucking see what happens in that scenario. I think that'd be pretty
It'd have to
crazy
be
to
pretty
watch.
high level though, because World on Fire kind of murders things at lower levels. So.
And none of them are going to be mobile because they're just going to be flying around, getting thrown around shit. But yeah, Zephyr really kind of hits that mobility itch that I have. I love mobility in all games, and she kind of just does exactly that. All her moves, aside from Dive Bomb, are super useful for me, and allows me to focus more on just the shooting and melee aspect of the game. Because everything else is kind of more supplementary than really damage based, aside from the tornado. Do you have Zephyr? And does anyone have experience with her? What do you think of her? Yeah,
I have Zephyr unranked.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
So on my list of frames to level, but I do have her unlocked.
Any interest?
I have interest in trying every frame. Yeah. So. As we kind of discussed, and it's not because she's a bad frame, but I leveled Trinity. I just found that to be a fucking bore.
Honorable mention in a negative sense. Don't like Chroma. Don't like Trinity. Trinity's so fucking boring. It was such a chore to fucking level her. Holy shit! Yeah. It's awful. It's awful.
And
the worst thing ever in my life. It ruined my life.
Play Trinity. And they're doing great, but it's just
there's use for her, but I don't
my
ever want to fucking play her again.
And Chroma, I just think I feel like Chroma's missing something. That's the only thing.
His moves are cool. They just don't do shit.
Yeah, I need to revisit that one though because Kris was looking up some stuff. And, yeah, I don't know. Not a huge fan.
1,400 armor though.
1,400 armor of doing nothing. Just fucking.
Well, at least you can survive high level missions.
I'll survive with Frost or Rhino. I'm being negative. Kris, Zephyr, thoughts?
I do have Zephyr. I used the Tengu helmet on her just for cosplay reasons. But I find her to be obsolete at this point with Parkour 2.0. I don't see any need to have to fly up in the air. I can just do that with a button press.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't really see much need for it. I don't really like flying in the... I don't like doing bullet time jumping.
Yeah.
I don't like aiming and shooting midair.
I think it's a big difference, though, because I do like jumping around a lot.
Yeah.
And she is more floaty than other frames, so I have more
is.
control in the air, which I like.
Very floaty.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. She just doesn't feel like... I don't see her ever in any of the games that I play. She just is never around. Just because that niche of hers that she had has been filled with Barcrow 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's hard to say too, though, because you hop in a game and almost everyone's playing like Rhino, Frost. Nova is another popular one. I mean, like there's a handful of Warframes that people just that's what they use. So
Yeah.
There's definitely the most useful frames.
because
But
my honorable mention is Hydroid, and I don't see that ever either.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I think Hydroid's a blast to play. I just think he needs to be tweaked to be a little more end game capable. But as far as like survivability goes, I've lasted a long time with him. He's supposed to be a caster, and I survive forever with him for some
that's the
reason,
same
so.
thing with me and Zephyr. Zephyr's really tanky for, like, it's surprising how tanky I have her. I just like that speed. There's a lot of frames that aren't really played, though. Like, even Equinox, I don't see very often,
Never.
like, at all.
Never.
Which is really interesting, because Equinox offers so many things. Like, if you had somebody who... I think it's more of, like, people are kind of afraid to play that one.
It's a little
just 'cause
overwhelming.
there's a lot going on with it, for sure.
I think a good example of that too, though, is before everyone decided to start using it, and when you were streaming more often, you used the Amprex, and
Oh, yeah.
at the time, people wouldn't touch that weapon. And
I liked
people,
it so much, I kept working with it.
and
I've
people would come into your
we've
streams,
done the thing like 7 times.
asked you what your build was because you'd walk in a room and the room would just go.
Yeah, I literally walk in, I'm like, and like the worm was fucking dead. And then Josh would complain because he's like, fuck, he wanted to kill things. I'm like, sorry.
And now people love that weapon.
Sorry.
So
Yeah, I still love it. It's probably one of my favorite weapons, but I believe we've done that before. We did a favorite weapons
yeah.
Yeah.
loot chest before.
And you had brought it up, I
Amprex
believe.
was on there for sure. Anything more on Hydroid as a honorable mention?
I mean, not really. The only thing is that I do find all 4 of his moves to be useful. I just think they need an element to them of some sort to make them practical at endgame, because you literally only have crowd control by the end, and he at that point is not survivable anymore.
Yeah.
So he needs something to make him stay alive, because to the point that I was getting to him is I would pop up, I'd do some crowd control stuff. If I took a hit, I'd turn to a puddle, wait for my shields to come back.
Yeah, I
come
remember
back
that.
out, and,
You were in a puddle a lot.
but it would keep me alive, but I wasn't participating anymore
Yeah.
either. So
All right, what's your last pick?
So my last pick is actually becoming more and more of my first pick. Is Saren.
Okay.
And it's since she's been reworked. I didn't get to play old Saren, so I don't know much about that other than like the whole like AoE
win.
miasma
I win.
kill
I
everything.
Yeah, it was boring. She's a good frame. Boring.
I find her to be really, really, really fun, and I'm always top of the damage, even though I'm not like shooting a lot of enemies. So the way I worked it out is her first move is Spore, which plants a dot on enemies, and they get these large, gross lumps on them. If you shoot the lumps, it spreads to everybody within an area. And then if you shoot those, it just keeps going and going and going. Her second ability is called Molt, where she leaves a skin copy of herself behind, and enemies target it. My only gripe with that is that Infested ignore the fuck out of it. They don't give a shit about it. But you can cast Spore on it, so that when enemies damage it, they get the Spore effect as well. So that's how our new system works together.
Okay.
Her third ability is she makes weapons do toxic damage, which again can proc the Spore and spread it further. And her third move, Miasma, which used to be the insta-kill button, now it does a bit of damage still as an instant buff, but it also applies a stronger toxin proc on top of her Spore. So you've got double procs going at the same time. And enemies just melt.
yeah, it works better on in endgame
Yes.
than what it used to, because it used to just do essentially damage, and now it does damage and then starts doing a dot, I believe.
It used to be that if they had Spore on them, it did even more damage. It was just a damage move, but now it's a bit of a damage, but the proc is what you're really going for. And I have a really specific build I use with her. I use the Mutilus Cernos, which is a really weird bow. It's the Cernos, but it's infested. So when you shoot it, wherever it hits, releases a gas cloud. So it procs Spore for me. Then enemies running through it are proccing Spore and Spore and Spore, and I'm just killing everything without even touching them. She's so much fun.
Still sounds pretty insta-killy, but sounds a little more involved, which is nice, because I remember, like I said before, that miasma move, I would like walk in a room and just go and hit it, and everything in the room go, ugh. I was like, that's the move. It's just fucking, they die. That's. I mean, it's nice, but
It doesn't. The Spore proc doesn't tend to work on the floaty guys.
Osprey.
No, not Osprey. The shieldy guys on Corpus missions. Are they Osprey?
I think so.
They're like the little drones, right?
Yeah, the little floaty
They're
drones.
Osprey.
Correct us if we're wrong.
Please do. It'll knock them down to like half health, and the proc just stops on them. It's weird.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I imagine, because I know when I looked up Chaos a little bit too, there's certain enemy types where it doesn't work as well type of thing. So I'm sure that's for balance reasons. So,
But I love her. I love her to death.
Yeah, I'll have to revisit her because, like I said before, good frame, just boring. But with the new rework, sounds interesting. It sounds way more interesting than it was. Yeah. Any final thoughts on Saren? She's cool.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's awesome. I do have one honorable mention.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Trinity.
Oh God.
really?
Ah, fuck. God.
I have taken her on so many like assassination sortie missions where it's like the final boss of regular mission, and it's level 100, and it takes forever. I just tether myself to all the enemies, and I just sit there and make one a Healy one, make one a power one, and I just keep the whole team alive. No one ever takes any damage.
You see, that's the only way I like Trinity is when somebody's just healing me. That's great because I don't have to play her. I get the benefits of her. It's nice.
It's great. I never run out of energy. I never die. And I just sit there, and if someone does die, I revive them, or I proc her ultimate, which gives everybody like invulnerability for a short period of time. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and I had brought it before. I don't think she's a bad frame. I think she's a boring frame.
Oh yeah.
I love her prime skin.
Queen boring.
So good.
Before I get into my last honorable mention, I wanted to since Josh can be here with us to talk about Warframe, I'm gonna quote him in what his favorite Warframe is. It is, "I love Atlas." So that's his favorite Warframe. Atlas is great. Honorable mention for me. Honorable mention for me as well is Atlas. I really like
He's
Atlas.
fun.
I think he just fucking works. He has really cool moves. Really fun to play. You have something to say about him?
Oh, I was just gonna say, it was a nice change because I believe he came after Equinox.
Yeah, which a lot of people can complain about the over
It just
complication.
kept getting more and more complicated,
Yeah.
and then Equinox was just like, I'm so complicated.
So I'm the most
And
complicated.
then Atlas was like, hey, I'm like the old Warframes again. So
I do moves that hurt things and I have a wall that it can be
that wall's
thrown.
my favorite.
I love
move.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's one of the main reasons I like him so much.
For usefulness. The
Yeah.
punch is my favorite for fun.
Yeah.
I just down the line.
Yep.
It's so fun.
And my personal honorable mention is Valbin. I think Valbin is a really interesting and really fun Warframe to play.
Have you played him since they reworked him?
No.
I haven't either, actually.
So they've changed it so then one of your moves is throw the grenade down, and another one is cycle through them.
Oh, yeah, like Ivar's arrows now.
Oh. Well, maybe I'll have to check him out again. Don't shatter my dreams. I really liked Valbin when I played him. He had really cool trap moves. I love trap moves in games. Like tower defenses. I always kind of felt like I was building defenses with him, especially for defense missions, stuff like that. Survival. Really fun to play. Not the best Warframe out there, but like I said, just the playability of him was always fun for me because I got to kind of strategize in a game that typically I'm just kind of fucking shooting and swinging. I'm using, oh god, it's the only melee weapon I use all the time, and I forgot, Orthos Prime?
Arthos Prime.
Orthos Prime.
I have an extended fucking range on that too, that I'm hitting dudes like 20 feet from me and shit, so I sit there and go, swinging my staff, and things are just going, I'm just a lawnmower, it's like, and things are just dying. So it's kind of nice every once in a while to kind of think about what I'm doing, and Valbin definitely allows that for me. Yeah. Any last honorable mentions before we wrap this up?
No, I
It's
was just
not
gonna
name off every Warframe.
I was just gonna comment. Valbin and Oberon were both frames.
Oberon's
that
dope.
I was
Oberon is
excited
fun.
to try, and I actually was underwhelmed by both. So
Really? I really liked Oberon for the same reason I like Valbin. I like setting down the ground things.
Just doesn't do anything.
They're so fun. They're so fun. And he looks so cool.
He does look cool.
he is
He
a
looks
very cool looking frame.
He's a really cool looking
I
Warframe.
wonder what the connection between him and Titania is, if there is any in Warframe lore. Oberon is the king of the fairies. Titania is queen of the fairies in Shakespeare.
Yeah. I'm sure there's something there. But yeah, let us know in the comments. What's the connection? And also, what's your favorite Warframe? Let us know why. I'm curious. There's so many of them, and we pretty much love them all.
Nyx.
So Nyx is cool. And Zephyr and Limbo need some love. So make sure to play those guys. I'd like to see them more often, even if you think Zephyr is obsolete.
Try something new.
So
Come
rude.
on,
So rude.
change it up.
Maybe they'll
I think everyone should try
rework
something
him.
new.
Get rid of Dive Bomb. I don't use that shit. It's useless.
I don't think I rid of Super Jump on fucking Excalibur, so
Yeah, exactly.
which was a very
Just don't touch the
nice
tornado
change.
move because it's dope. Yeah, I think it's going to do it for this episode of Loot Chest on Tasty Loot Gaming. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. I didn't say that word correctly at all. Make sure to check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, Tasty Loot Gaming. Check us out on Twitch, Sleep Division. And yeah, my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
Have a great weekend, guys. And come back for Tasty Tuesday on Tuesday. Until then, take it easy, guys.
Bye, Tenos.